say all these things?
They're Jews.
Harry. Clever as they come.
Jews.
They're not the most friendly of beasts.
What the hell did you just say?
Donnie!
Yeah?
Got a German here wants to die for country. Oblige him.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and Jon Stewart. Many of you remember him from his run on when The Daily Show used to be palatable. The Daily Show has always leaned left. However, nowadays, in this bizarro world, The Daily Show is just basically an extension of mainstream media, left-wing talking points. It's garbage. It's trash. Jon Stewart was, and really, for the most part, is still tolerable. He's had reasonable takes about the poke, as you saw. I think he had it on the Tonight Show. He has defended the firefighters of New York City, their fund. He's done a lot of good. He's also had some total lunatic takes, like the one he had about Harry Potter, trying to tie J.K. Rowling to having some sort of problem with Jewish people. And everybody basically is laughing in his face because J.K. Rowling has always stood up for that community, and just dumb. So where did it start? It started on this guy, Raph. I don't know. Seems like, I don't know. He's got 50,000 followers. Isn't exactly super popular, but he's taking credit for this soundbite. Excuse me. You see, so Jon Stewart recently broke Hollywood's complete silence on J.K. Rowling's unapologetically maintaining anti-Semitic folklore through Harry Potter. Literally what? No, seriously. Literally what? Are we doing this whole orcs are black people, therefore J.R.R. Tolkien is an evil racist and he's terrible? Are we really doing this again? Now, I can't play this. Well, I can show the scene. So there's a scene here from Harry Potter. I don't know which one it was. Harry looks pretty young. But all the bankers are portrayed as goblins. Now, all I see is a goblin. I think the fact that people are rushing to say that this reminds them of Jewish people, they're the ones who are really, really, they need to look internally. Jon Stewart goes on through this here, some Apple TV show that nobody watches, talking about, do you ever see the scenes in Gringotts Bank? You know who the folks who run the bank are? They're Jews. That's what Jon Stewart says. Now, I don't know. I've never, ever thought that. I doubt a single kid ever thought that. And there's actually lore around this. So after this guy gets all the outrage clicks, he even writes, in total fairness, goblin mythology as an anti-Semitic trope predates all of us, including J.K. Rowling. Well, if it predates Jews, then how is it supposed to have some problem with Jewish people? But across Harry Potter novels, J.K. uses her freedom to reinvent almost anything, but as Jon Stewart points out, the trope's maintained. Later in the Harry Potter series, they remove the side locks from the goblins and the Jewish stars from the bank, which pre-existed in London's High Commission of Australia building. Okay, so they pre-existed where they filmed it. And they are not a part of the new theme park in London, but the side locks remain. J.K. Rowling is definitely anti-trans. Again, this is just a stretch and a cope to try and smear J.K. Rowling. But as far as I know, she has no issues with Jewish people. Well, let me tell you something. Let me ask you this question, you absolute idiots, and all these idiots that talk about this on Twitter and in these articles. Did J.K. Rowling direct the Harry Potter movies? The answer is no. Did J.K. Rowling choose the locations which had the existing stars in them? No, she did not. Did J.K. Rowling do the costumes? No, she did not. Did J.K. Rowling do the makeup? No, she did not. Did J.K. Rowling do the cinematography? No, she did not. Did J.K. Rowling do the casting? No, she did not. So in what world does J.K. Rowling have anything to do with this other than losers like Variety and IGN and every one of these blue checkmark clowns on Twitter? It's just a way for them to smear her. She has done a lot of good for that community. And in fact, if you look at what's trending, I thought I saw it earlier. There was like a huge pushback against this with like an I stand with J.K. Rowling. Like Jon Stewart is not exactly intelligent. Did Jon Stewart change the thumbnail on his Harry Potter video after it went viral? Yes, he did. Like, do the goblins in Harry Potter affect the life of Jewish folks in any palpable way? Ben Shapiro, looking forward to Jon Stewart's comments on the non-veiled anti-Semitism of his successor. Yeah, that's right. The new host, Trevor Noah, of his show has a long history of having these kind of comments, yet Jon Stewart ushered him in happily. Here's an account that says, standing against anti-Semitism, J.K. Rowling has been a consistent and incredible ally in the fight against this throughout one of the darkest times in modern political history when many were silent. Jon Stewart's implication is absurd. Hashtag I stand with J.K. Rowling. I mean, nobody actually believes this. It's hilarious to me that anybody won't be able to see exactly. This is Variety. Harry Potter films and these anti-Jewish illustrations featured in a 1903 book, The Protocols of the Elders of Zion. Here's how you know that the Jews are still where they are, Stewart said in the podcast episode. Talking to people, here's why I say, have you ever seen Harry Potter movie? Have you seen the scenes in Gringotts Bank? Do you know what those folks in the banks are? Jews! And they're not like, oh, this illustration from Harry Potter. And you're like, no, that's a caricature of a Jewish person and an anti-Jewish piece of literature. J.K. Rowling was like, can we get those guys to run our bank? Again, J.K. Rowling had nothing to do with these movies. She didn't do the casting, the makeup, or any of that stuff. You could see charity group Campaign Against This issued its own statement on the matter, reminding Harry Potterers that J.K. Rowling has been a, quote, tireless defender of the Jewish community over the years. As for the goblins, the group said that the look of the creatures is a piece worth with their portrayal in Western literature as a whole. Rowling has been at the center of controversy, and of course they're going to bring up the crazy, the fact that J.K. Rowling says biology is a thing. That's it. And here's a statement, right, from Campaign Against Anti-Semitism. Those who continue to use such representations are often not thinking of Jews at all, but simply of how readers or viewers will imagine goblins to look, which is a testament more to centuries of Christendom's anti-Semitism than it is to malice by contemporary artists. So basically what they're saying is, historically, images were used in this fashion, but nowadays, nobody really thinks of it that way. So it is with J.K. Rowling, who has proven herself over recent years to be a tireless defender of the Jewish community in its fight against this type of thing, for which we are immensely grateful. So, I mean, yeah, maybe people do use it in that way, but just because some people use it that way does not mean it's the actual definition of it. I would challenge Jon Stewart to find any child who watched Harry Potter and thought, wow, that's Jewish people. These people don't exist. All this is a lazy, backhanded way to drag J.K. Rowling's name through the mud. And listen, I don't like this woman. I don't like having to defend her. She's another woke idiot who wants everyone else to sacrifice except for herself. But I've got to side with truth here, and that's exactly what this is. J.K. Rowling had nothing to do with the movie, and anyway, even if she did, that doesn't prove what this clown is accusing her of. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.